Guys, I am tired of seeing all the rookie mistakes, all the crashes, all the bad habits, and all the things that can be prevented, and I just want to help everybody. I saw it twice today. Two separate groups of people, two separate rookie mistakes, and man, one of them, both of them were pretty bad. But so more and more people are getting into our hobby, which is cool. The more the merrier. It's better for everybody. Could you imagine the price of these planes if double the amount of people were into this hobby? You know, it would just be really good. So the more the merrier for all aspects of the hobby. And I'm seeing more and more different faces at the park. So here came a father and son today, and I did with them what I do with everybody is I don't say anything. You know, if they ask for help, or if I could, if I see that they're 10 seconds away from a crash, I'll butt in and try to help. But for the most part, I just don't say anything. I just go about my business, just say hello and let them do their thing. So, father and son, they had a T28, the 1.1 meter, the yellow one, and they kind of looked like they knew exactly what they were doing. They were getting ready to fly, and they set it down on the ground, and I mentioned to them about the non-written rules for flying, why sports are also going on at the park, and they said, yeah, they know that they've talked to the groundskeeper and so on, and I said, okay, and within 10 seconds I looked, and the father and son are walking into the grass. And you know what that means? The plane went down. And I'm thinking, oh man, I feel so bad. So they came back a little while, 10 minutes later or something. I'd flown a whole battery pack. And they came back without the plane. I said, what happened? And they immediately started saying, this was happening or that was happening, and it happened before, and they fixed it, and so on. And then I said, well, where's the plane? And they said, it's still out there. It's somewhere between here and here. And the park has nice mowed grass, and then it goes to like a buffer zone where like a bush hog cut it, and it's like 10 inches tall. And then on the other side of that, the grass is like 10 foot tall. And that's where the plane is, out in the 10-foot tall grass. And he said, man, I saw it go down, and it looked like it was right over there. And he said, we've gone in there, and we got chiggers and mosquito bites, and I can't see it. And they were like, we're just giving up. We'll get another plane and try it again. And the kid had the transmitter in his hand. He said, still powered on. I said, oh, don't turn it off. Let's look at the transmitter, because that screen can tell us, quite a bit. And it had 248 fades, and it had one hold. So, that immediately told me that they had some kind of a signal issue. If they had one hold and all those fades, I never get more than 15 fades when I fly. So they had a bunch. And so I said, well, it had to have been a signal issue, and that one hold was when the signal disappeared. And so then we kind of talked about that for a minute, and then they mentioned, or maybe it has something to do with the safe. We got rid of that safe. We couldn't really figure it out, so we just got rid of it. And then the dads started talking about how it was really acting funny and how it acted funny before. So I think that their transmitter stick movements were opposite than the gyro, and maybe he was pulling back on the stick to get the plane to go up, and maybe the gyro was telling the plane to go down, something, or maybe they had the elevator plugged into the ailerons channel. I don't know. But they still had the transmitter plugged up, and I said, well, let's go to your telemetry screen and let's change the signal to the percentage sign, and maybe if you'll walk in the direction of the plane, we'll be able to see the signal getting stronger and stronger. So we did, and they walked about 100 feet or so, and they said it's going up. So I guess the plane had gotten unplugged or something. I don't know. So anyways, I'm going to go tomorrow and find the plane. I'm charging up the drone right now. So while they're playing flag football, and it's not all that much fun to fly because our flying area is smaller, I'm going to take the drone and try to find the T-28. So if I find it, I'll let you know. And here's my other story. The second group of guys a couple hours later. Hang on. All right, so here is the second group of guys, and timeout. If I'm talking about you guys, or I'm not criticizing anybody. This is a learning experience for to save somebody else. So, I'm not mentioning any names or whatever. But second set of guys showed up, and they had a couple planes, and they looked like they knew exactly what they were doing. And immediately, I overheard conversation. Wasn't trying to help. I overheard conversation about batteries. And the guy was saying to the other guy that, they just get old sometimes. They just sit around. They just go bad, which can happen. So one of the kids is flying a UMX Turbo Timber. And as I hear it going over my head, I hear the motor going, whoom, 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 whoom. It's pulsing. That is the speed control letting you know as a pilot that, hey, your battery voltage level is low. If you can't see the voltage on the screen of your transmitter because you don't have that type transmitter, then the speed controls are programmed in a way to cut off at certain voltages. And the stock default setting is the pulse. So once your voltage gets to a certain level, then your propeller will boom, 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 so you can hear it in an audible tone to let you know that, hey, it's time to land. So keep in mind, they're talking about the batteries going bad just because they do, and then he's flying with a dead battery. So then a little time went on, and I overheard one of them say that a fully charged battery was like 3.8 volts per cell, and I said, no. At that point, I had to interrupt. I said, no, that's a dead battery. Don't put that in your plane. That's a dead battery. 4.20 per cell is a fully charged. And it kind of took a little bit to register, but then it didn't. And then I said, I have a charger. I got all kinds of adapters. We can charge anything. And no, we're good. So got to put a battery back in the other UMX plane and took off. And within 2 seconds, boom, boom, boom. He flew that plane for 15 minutes with that thing pulsing. Boom, boom. So it's trying to warn you that your battery is dead because of the pulsing. And if you land, then your battery is at a good voltage level and ready to recharge. But if you keep using the battery after it's already warned you, saying that your voltage is low, then of course your battery is going to go way down. It's going to be hard to charge it back up. Your cells are going to get out of whack, and yep, your batteries are going to go bad if you abuse them. So that was that. And then the poor guy, another guy, he started to plug this plane up, and he said to me, have you ever seen the receiver not blink when I'm plugging it up? And I said, well, maybe your transmitter's not on or something. That I was thinking, like, maybe the speed control is not sending power to the receiver. That's what he was getting at. And I said, well, make sure your speed control is plugged into the receiver. And kind of left it at that, and I started packing my stuff up. And they ended up leaving, and they left a battery on the picnic table. So I have your battery. Well, I just got done checking the battery, and it was a 3-cell. Let me show it to you. This is good. So there's the battery. It's as round and puffy. It's bad. It's already puffed out. So the life expectancy is it's pretty much finished. But I put it in my charger and it had like 6.2 volts. Now this is a 3S, 11.1 volt, 3S 2200. At the bare minimum, it should be at 11.1 volts. A fully charged battery would be 3 times 4.20, so that'd be like 12.6 volts. Well, it was half that. So when you're plugging a battery into your speed control, of course it's not going to power the receiver if it doesn't have enough voltage to do anything. The receiver needs like 4.8 volts minimum. So once you plug a battery that has like 6 volts into your speed control, it's going to use some of the power for that, and it's not going to give enough to the receiver, and that's why the receiver wasn't lighting up. So there we go. So there's my little story and gossip for today, and I just wish I could help everybody and the people with the T28. I just wish that I could have helped everybody, so we wouldn't have had any lost planes or battery issues. The other 2 batteries, they got abused in the UMX with a pulsing motor for 10 minutes. That battery is shot. So anyways, that's what gave me an idea to make another video. What you'll see next is I'm going to do a new to the hobby, check your control surfaces. You got to make sure that what is going on with your transmitter is going on correctly on your plane, and that your gyro is working in the correct direction so that nothing is fighting you. And safe select with our awesome E-Flite planes that have the Spektrum technology and the safe select AS3X. Let's use it. Let's not disable it because we're confused by it. Let's use it, and we'll make sure we can do it. So that's the next video. Start to finish before you fly. Let's make sure that the transmitter and the plane are both on the same page, and to set you up for the best success that you can have. So that's the next video. Anyways, guys, I appreciate it, and stay tuned for that video and many more coming. So I'm going to finish polishing up the old Beaver. I flew like 4 battery packs on this thing today. It was a good time. So all right, guys, hey, thank you. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. At 20,000, we'll give away 3 jets. 20,000 subscribers, a 3-jet giveaway. All right, adios. I got the remote this time.